Yo. How's everybody doing tonight? It's kind of hectic, right? Like we're trying to decide if we're gonna go out or not. Like I feel like we're breaking up with the actual coronavirus. Like I'm not sure if I'm ready to move on to any new viruses yet. Like I'm not ready if I'm ready for an STD. I don't know if I'm ready for dating. I'm already worried about this whole COVID thing. Like I'm not even over that yet. You know what I mean? But make some noise, you guys. Are you guys ready for a fun night tonight? Shit.
Yeah.
It's weird because I've kind of figured out now that I'm older, like doctors are a scheme. Like I fear it's a pyramid scheme. Because really all they do is go to school for 5 or 6 or 8 years to get a thesaurus to, charge you a whole lot of money for some fancy words. Like, have you ever got a contusion? Yeah, that's $1,000 way of saying you got a bruise if you didn't know. Or a hematoma? Yeah, that's a $2,500 way of saying you got a bruise. Only thing is they usually give you a CAT scan and you're at the ER, if you know what I mean. And even worse, the one I love is when I tell people I've had a wood product laceration. That's a thinker. It's called a paper cut. You want to get out of work on Monday and you got a stupid fucking boss. Just tell him, hey, Bob, went to the doctor, had a wood product laceration on my right hand. It's going to be like 4 to 6 weeks, bro. He's going to be like, hey, man, get better. There's going to be some asshole nerd like me in the office going, that's a paper cut, right, Dick? Like, come on. And even worse is I've had surgeries before. Like, I had my knee replaced. And they gave me 3 options when they were replacing the tendon. The first one was real simple. They were like, we're going to use a cadaver. And I was like, I've seen that movie. I don't want to turn it into a zombie. Like, I know that's how it works, right? Like, one tendon in your knee, and now I'm dancing like Thriller, right? And then they're like, well, why don't we use like a piece of your hamstring? And I was like, that's fucking stupid. Like, you wouldn't bust my tail light to fix my headlight. Like, that makes no fucking sense. Like, why were you going to do that? And then they were like, well, hey, we'll use part of your patella, another part of your knee. And I was like, hey, Dick, I'm fat. My knee already blew out. Like, you don't slash my tire to fix it either. You know what I mean? Like, come on. You guys are smarter than this, right? And then I remember I messed up my shoulder because I wanted to be a football player, semi-pro football. It's just like the movie for semi-pro basketball. Guys, it should be a reality show. Mostly baby mamas dating other guys' players and teammates. It's awesome, right? But I blew my shoulder out, and I went to my main doctor, and I was pissed because she grabbed it, right? And usually if you pull on your shoulder, your body moves. That's not what happened. You could pull my clavicle and hear it grind. And she went, ew. And I was like, ew? Is that like your professional diagnosis is fucking ew? Like where in 6 to 7 years did they tell you that this is the diagnosis for that? Like, this is what ew is. This is it right here. And so I went, for that surgery, and he gave me the 3 options again. And I said, hey, fucker, I already know. No zombie parts here. I told you, we're not doing that, right? And so he was like, well, we could use another arm. And I said, yeah, again, we're not busting a taillight to fix a headlight, right? And so he said, okay, well, why don't you use a bovine part? I see some of you guys are smart. I saw Derek's eyes. Derek's like, I'm a reader. I know what bovine is. Me too. I was like, bitch, my middle name's Edward. I don't want to be Mr. Ed. I don't want horse parts. Yeah. And the guy was like, look, bovine doesn't mean horse. It means what is it? Cattle. So that could be pig or cow. And I was like, look here, bitch. We're going to use an animal part on me. I don't want the leftovers. I don't want the animal that's on fucking death row at the farm. Like fucking Ethel, the pig's going this week. We're sending Duante a shoulder tendon. Like, that's not how this works. And then I thought about racists. Like, yeah, how do they feel about getting a tendon replaced? Like, think about if racist Bob gets his Achilles done on his left leg. And now he can't play church basketball anymore because every time he jumps off his left leg, he's dunking. And he had to go back to his doctor and be like, this is bullshit. You gave me Tyrone's Achilles. I'm Republican. They're kicking me out the church league. I can't do this anymore. Like, what the fuck? Like a white parts only? Like what? Never mind. I'm sorry. I digress. All right. Did I get you guys warmed up? Woo! Did I fluff the crowd enough? No, I'm sorry. Never mind. I digress. That's another one we won't talk about. But again, let me not digress too much. We've got the chat going. We've got the live feed going. So you guys should be watching now. If you're watching, please take your time. Find out what the UGAM is. Right? Oh, there we go. Find the UGM. Do what you can to find it, and I'm gonna be copying the actual link right now, so that way we can get you guys making donations. The whole idea is, I think it's like $1.65 a day, can actually get somebody fed. And I'm gonna be that asshole. I'm gonna talk about it for a second. Like for me, this is huge because I don't think we really understand how much COVID affected the homeless people. You couldn't walk up and get food, right? You couldn't dine in, right? You couldn't beg for change because there was no commerce. Now, whether you support these people or not all these people out here by choice, right? And then not only that, but it's so hard that some of these are the only ways. I know we had some transgressions about it being religious, whatever. There's nobody else given to the people but these people in Seattle. Derek will attest to that. Carol will attest to that. We don't have anybody else but the Union Gospel Mission. So I hope your religious affiliation doesn't stop you from being able to help a cause that I know I've been touched by. I know Derek personally has, and I know a couple other people have from different other organizations. So, without that being done, that, the Black Seth Rogen is here from some of y'all that don't watch cut videos, okay? God damn it. And I'm still pissed about that. That's cultural appropriation. I was born first. He's the white suit man. Hashtag 2021. No. Our first comedian's all the way from Japan, but she's not Japanese, okay? I don't wanna be fuck with nobody and expecting somebody a little different. We do have a Japanese comedian coming on later if she shows up, hopefully, but we'll see. This lady though, I'm surprised to see what she's gonna bring. Definitely talented, definitely says she has a funny story. And so far, she's been able to take my shit. So if you can take my shit, you either got a good sense of humor or you're going to burn the shit out of me. So one of the two is about to happen. It should be good. Give it up for our first comic of the night, Soness Stevens. You're on mute. We can't hear you.
I think she's still on mute.
No, I was not on mute. Am I? Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
No, we can hear you.
You know, when somebody's on mute, I'm always like, whose fault is it? And usually I think, oh, it must be my fault. But, you know, when I'm talking to my mom, it's different. So I've lived in Japan for more than half my life. And people ask me, you know, what's life like in Japan? And I guess they're bored with hearing about life in America. I get it. That's why I left, too. So every year I do this huge barbecue at my house because it's a one and done. And I invite everyone around and then I never have to see them again. All the bonus is Japanese guests do all the cleaning up. They're like, oh, Soness, you're such a great neighbor. I'm like, yeah. The dishes go on the top shelf and the trash needs taking out and the vacuum's under the cupboard. I'm so glad you can make it. So, we were dancing to Green Day recently, my husband and I, and, you know, don't want to be an American idiot. I broke the living room floor. My Japanese neighbors are like, we wished you weren't an American idiot. I broke the floor. See, I'm American. The floor is Japanese. I don't break American floors, but I go through Japanese floors like a hot knife through butter. Or, as the Japanese say, like an American through a Japanese floor. It is so easy to break Japanese floors. I am beginning to think Godzilla wasn't that big. Like what? Probably just some lizard from Florida. Godzilla movies are huge in Japan. In America, standard. My dream is to be in a Godzilla movie. Like, I'd be huge in Japan. Well, obviously, I am huge in Japan. But it still mean nothing at my high school reunion. Or the first thing I thought was, let's pull the rug over it so none of the adults would notice. I am the adult. So like, let's not let us notice this. And even if I don't, the next time I play Green Day, I'm just going to get closer to my neighbor. So, growing up, we were homeless. Well, we weren't living on the streets. Well, technically, we were living on the streets. We lived in a car, so we were this far from living on the streets. My room was in the back, the hatchback. Yeah. Playtime was difficult. Have you ever done puzzles at home when your home is a car doing 40? Almost done. Almost done. Parked in Florida. My best friend in middle school lived the Tiger King lifestyle. She takes me around to the backyard, shows me a cage with a tiger in it. I say, amazing. You have a house. I felt bad for her because her house only had 2 doors and we had 5. Yeah. So a girl in my church owned an alligator wrestling theme park. Like she was professionally wrestling gators in high school. Well, you got to start young because if you don't go pro by 12, well, you're dead. You can only be amateur once for 3 seconds. So living in that car was me, my brother, and my mom's 10 personalities. And she had a personality for every situation. Like for instance, when my mom flirts, she's a 1930s leading lady. And you can tell a lot about people like when they hit an animal. Like some people are like, oh my God, the car. And some people are like, oh my God, the animal. My mom was like, I'm pretty sure we can eat alligators. So
We can't hear you.
on the freeway. Okay. And that's the moment we realize it's not dead. And then a police officer pulls up wondering what the heck is going on. So there we are, just 2 kids alone trying to wrestle a gator in the car. And while up front, my mom and the officer's like, ma'am, do you realize that alligators are protected species? Oh, officer, I do like how you care about the wildlife. You see, officer, my 2 children and I, we're just trying to take this poor gator to the vet. We're not trying to eat it. So there we are. She's in the 1930s. We're in a horror film. She's in Gone with the Wind. We're in Jaws. Oh, officer, can you rescue a damsel in distress? We're going to need a bigger car. Thank you so much. I've been Soness.
Woo!
Yo. Give it up for Soness Stevens. God damn. Like I've told people in Asia I'm over 100 kilos and they go, oh, that big. Like Jesus, like it's not that big. Like it's only 200 something pounds. Like I feel fat just because y'all motherfuckers are under 70 kilos. Never mind. You're right. There's something to be said about that. Like supersize me. It's totally different. Never mind. I feel bad. Give it up one more time though for Soness Stevens. Jesus.
Yeah. Woo.
People don't know it's the hardships that make us comedians. If you can't laugh while you're homeless, I mean, if you can laugh then, you can laugh at anybody's jokes, right? Fuck. This next comedian looks like I went to Back in the Future, was on Back to the Future, and went and got myself and brought him back. Honestly, though, he's too short. He's only like 5'9", 5'10". I'm taller than him. I love fucking with this guy. He's my uncle in so many ways, a mentor, a good friend, definitely a funny comedian. Give it up for my buddy, friend out of Washington, D.C. Give it up for Chipp Joe!
Hello. Yeah, Duante, you're tall now, but as you get older, you'll shrink. You'll shrink. Gravity will pull you to the ground. You probably can't tell from the way I'm seated, but I do have long dreadlocks. I'll show those to you guys. And it's funny because when people see those, they automatically assume that I smoke and sell weed. And I just want to let you guys know I don't smoke weed. So we got some people with glaucoma in the room. Just see me after my set. We'll be all set up. It looks like everybody here is doing okay through COVID. Anybody learn to bake bread? Anybody? No, nobody's took up painting or anything. Did anything to improve themselves? Yeah, I spent some time in quarantine working on me, trying to be the better man, because like most comedians, I have issues. I found out that I have terrible road rage. Yeah, the other day a bird pooped on my windshield and I followed him back to his nest and peed in it. It's just not a good look, Luckily, the lady was watching me out of her second story window, called a couple cops to help me down out of that tree. Yeah, when you're enraged, you can scamper up a tree just like a squirrel, but coming down's altogether different, Yeah, coming down, you're a sex offender. At least that's what the judge called me. So now that I've informed you guys, I can move on with my set. I am Dante in the future, so I'm old. You can see by my gray hair. I'm at that point in my life. If I'm up after midnight, 50% of the time it's because I have to go pee, and the other 50% it's because I have to go pee again. So it's kind of horrible. I'm jealous of guys like Rasheed, young men like that, when they go, they still have that steady stream when you go to the bathroom, right, Rasheed? Just blasting away like a little fireman with your fire hose. Yeah, if I'm your fireman, your house is burning to the ground. When I go, it's more like a ketchup pump at McDonald's, sort of squirt, squirt, squirt. Yeah, it usually takes so long that I often sit when I pee now. So which can be awkward at a urinal, It's, yeah, just have to remember to stand up before you flush or your back gets wet. That's awkward. My doctor now, he books me for 2 appointments if I have to pee in a cup, which I think is just rude. I think that's just rude. I'm also at that age where I got hair growing all over, tops of my ears. Not too long ago, I had this long strand growing out of my ear, and I went to pull on it, and my leg went up. I was like, whoa. Let me tie this one off just in case, I had a couple of days where I had to shave the knuckles of my toes so I could get my shoes on. I guess I'm not getting old so much as I'm turning into a hobbit, Going to be looking for a quest sometime soon. I don't know if you can tell by the way I'm seated, but like many African Americans, I suffer from big bones. It's a compound the fact that I'm fat. Yeah, I tried running, but I found I could only run if there was a Popeyes at the end of it. So I'm no longer a runner. Yeah. I don't know. Did you ever go to a McDonald's and order so much food that you bought a second soda simply because you didn't want the people behind the counter to know you're going to eat all that yourself? Am I the only one who does that? Yeah. Yeah, I guess what I need like a fat guy gym, gym specially designed for fat guys, place that's got like a 14-foot rope climb to a bucket of chicken, or every treadmill has a full Thanksgiving dinner at the end of it that you just can't quite get, or they actually take you outside and make you chase down the ice cream truck. I need incentive, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is I need incentive. But what else is going on in the world? I saw this article of this 53-year-old woman who won $80,000 in the lottery while she was waiting in line. She was waiting in line to get something at Popeyes and realized that her lottery ticket had hit. And it was like amazing because it literally was winner, winner, chicken dinner. I mean, how often does that happen? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm in Washington, D.C., and we had a little ruckus at the beginning of the year. And I could hear my wife upstairs watching the riot on TV, and she's like the opposite of an anti-masker. She is like vehement about it, and I could hear her screaming at the TV, "None of those people are wearing masks. How come nobody's wearing a mask?" She comes downstairs and sees me in the living room watching TV. Looks at the TV, looks back at me. None of those people are wearing masks either. How come none of those people are wearing masks? I said, honey, I think it's because I'm watching Gone with the Wind. I mean, I think that might be the reason. I did have a conservative white friend who actually was at the Trump rally that day. I mean, he didn't attack the Capitol, but he was at the rally. And I told him, I said, I think these Trump rallies are just racist. He said, no. He goes, I was there, and there were a lot of black people at that rally. And I kind of get what he means, because I know if I went to a Trump rally and I saw 2 black people, I'd be like, damn, there are a lot of black people at this Trump rally. So I think it's the only time that a black guy and a conservative white guy agree on what a lot of black people is. It's 2. It's 2. So when you hear a conservative white guy say, I have a lot of black friends, they mean 2. They've got 2. But that was the thing, a year ago, things seemed to be working. We were headed in a good direction. BLM was making movements, and corporate America let Aunt Jemima and Mrs. Butterworth and Uncle Ben off the corporate plantation. It was cool, it was like, it was nice to see that we got to go first, because usually we don't get to go at all. And I could have seen them starting out with, I don't know, child labor, and letting Wendy and little Debbie off the plantation, or maybe going with gay rights and finally letting the Brawny Man and Mr. Clean declare their love, because that's always a sad story, because they're always on the same aisle, but they're never allowed to be side by side, but and then white America discovered Juneteenth, the commemoration of the Texas slaves who didn't find out for 2 years that they were free. And there were some congressmen that want to actually make this a national holiday. I don't know. I'm a little afraid of that, because the way America is. I could see, turning on the TV during Juneteenth celebration and hearing, swing low, sweet chariot. You need a new chariot? Come on down to Coons Ford. We'll get you in a Tahoe today. Haven't gotten that reparations check? Don't worry, 0% financing. Or maybe I'm going to lay down my burden on the sleepy memory foam mattress. Come on into our Juneteenth celebration. All black people, 3/5 the price. No.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Oh my. But that's the way America is, man. And of course, if it becomes a holiday, then of course Hallmark will get involved. And I'm scared of that, because I can see my white friends and coworkers sending me these crazy cards. Like I get a card that says, hey, I'm sorry about slavery. Open it up. It was a cotton picking shame. No.
Fuck.
Or that card sitting on my desk when I go into the office that says, hey, it's been over 140 years since we had slavery. Open the card up. Isn't that all just watermelon under the bridge?
Yo.
Oh, no.
The worst thing is signed by Debbie and the girls at HR. It's like, who do I complain to now? It's like,
oh God.
Or maybe somebody go high tech, with one of those personalized, record your own message cards. Front of the card says, are you still mad about slavery? Open it up and the card just screams, nigga, please. Nigga, please. Nigga, please. Now I'm stabbing everybody at my job. but that's the thing, man. We are just not where we need to be when it comes to race relations. I was in downtown DC not too long ago, and this little 6-year-old white girl was walking in front of me, and she looked back and saw me, and she immediately took her Barbie purse. She moved it to the other side of her body, and she clutched it really tight. And I got to tell you, it made me sad. I think mainly because it meant I had to knock her to the ground to snatch it. I was like, yeah, this racism isn't working out for either one of us. But I do have to say I like doing these Zoom shows. I've been able to do comedy all over the world, shows out of Tokyo and Kuala Lumpur and Russia. And it's amazing because everybody speaks English, which is wild. Kind of makes me think that maybe colonialism gets a bad rap, I mean, yeah, I understand they killed a lot of people. They enslaved even more, they stole a lot of land, but without it, people all over the globe couldn't understand my dick jokes. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm an optimist. I'm sort of what you would call a slave ship half full kind of guy. So I think that's my time. I'm Chipp from DC. Thanks for listening, and I'll hand it back over to you, Duante.
Oh my fucking God. That is me when I'm older, because I tell my master's joke, and I've been telling that lately, and then white people get mad, and I have to give them a history lesson. I go, yeah, we didn't like that either. If a couple students get mad because I tell them to call me master, we're probably not even anyway, so it's all right. We'll let it go, right? Jesus Christ. I like that. I'm a slave ships half full type of guy. Oh God, that hurt 60% of my ancestors' souls. That's why I tell everybody I'm fourth generation Norwegian Swedish on my white side. My white side didn't own the black side. I don't have to go on Ancestry.com and have that uncomfortable conversation with my generational selves like, hey, great-great-granddad Ernest, apologize to Tyrone for that you fucking owned him. You know what I mean? I don't have to do that. So it's different. Sorry, nobody laughed at that. They didn't think that was too funny. Real too soon, right? Like it's only 300 years late. Like this was Martin Luther King's dream, right? Mulatto babies running around here. No, fuck. I digress. Our next comedian, though, I'm waiting to see him. He's a good time. I know he's had a good laugh. He's been busting his fucking balls. I think they've been working him like he wasn't white. He's not used to this. He's like, I'm supposed to work 40 and get the fuck out of here. What's this 60s hour a week shit? Actually, he quit his job. Bitch is free. Everybody snap, 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 snap. Right? I know how to motherfucking snap too. I saw you, Matt. Give it up for our next comedian. I know he's gonna have a blast. A little ginger out of Boston. Give it up for Matt Lopez.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, it's kind of funny that you did say it's like, oh, he's a white guy. He should be expected to like only work 40 hours a week. Do you not realize that my last name is Lopez? Okay, first of all, when people hire me, they're like, oh, good, he's bilingual. Like, no, they expect more of me, and they expect to pay me less. It's not cool. Anyways, yes, I am Matthew Lopez. Hello. What is going on? You know, I have my original 10-minute set that I would do, but I just quit my job today and I'm feeling a little bit rash and reckless. So I'm just gonna tell some jokes that I hope you guys will like. And let's go. So I want to talk to you guys about Karens. I know, hold your applause. You know, the white women who voted for Trump and think they've had the problematic life. You know, their drastic haircuts and tiny yippy dogs. Oh, by the way, I'm a hairstylist and I just want to say something on their haircuts. We gave them that for a reason. It's so you know to run away from them. Anyways, I am just imagining what the next Karen power move is going to be, because they're always known as taking a problem that isn't theirs and making it their own. And I feel like it's gonna go about go something like this. Hello, Karen. Is that the ghost of Karen? Is that you screaming? What was that noise? Anyways, you gotta say something like this. It's gonna be a PSA. During these times, it's important for us to remember our mistreated friends. That's right. I'm talking about Black cats. Which is why I opened up a brand new shelter called 9 Lives Matter. At 9 Lives Matter, we take in the stray Black cats and give them jobs like house cleaning. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is these women are ignorant. They should not be allowed to do PSAs, and you can find them on Fox News Channel. Let's see here. Oh, I imagine that this is how every Karen would introduce their children. Welcome to my home. These are my kids, Hayden, Brayden, Jaden, Caden with a C, Caden with a K, Caden with an R, and Caden with an L, M, N, X, and Z, which are all silent just like me when I walk past police brutality. Would you like to see the kitchen? It's fucked. It really is. Let's see here. So, does anyone here remember Grandparents' Day at their elementary school? Did anyone have that? No, no one here. Okay, so Grandparents' Day, at least for my generation, was the day where, sorry, Duante, I know you were homeless. So this was the day where you would bring your grandparents in to meet all your teachers and have a lot of fun. The only problem with going to a Jewish day school is that most of the kids just stayed home and cried on Grandparents' Day. But those who did attend Grandparents' Day, a lot of them would come in, and then when their grandfather would see someone else and be like, "Oh my God, Chaim, you're alive!" Because every day at a Jewish day school is Holocaust Remembrance Day. Anyways, no one's laughing. I'm really not that funny. I'm sorry. I'm on a high right now of adrenaline, and I'm just saying random shit. So, excuse me. If I raise any money, please check who it was, because they're probably not let's see here. Sorry, like I said, like Duante said, I work 60 hours a week, and I'm fucking dying right now. I'll just go back to the basics then. I'm Matthew Lopez, and yes, I know what you're thinking. Reddish hair, Lopez. He couldn't be Jewish, but I am. And if you couldn't already tell by the sound of my voice, that's right, guys. I'm from Boston. No, I'm actually from a small town called Sharon, of which we're famous for one thing and one thing only, which is our entrance sign, which says "Now entering Sharon," which was like the most consent I saw in 2019. So give it up to them for being progressive. Yay. No, I am Jewish, so I thought I'd teach you guys my Hebrew name, which is Moshe, which translates into Moses, which I find very fitting considering every time a guy goes down on me, he stares straight into my burning bush. And when he flips me over, he parts the Red Sea. Lots of Jews walked across that land. Anyways, no, I am adopted, and a lot of people have asked me if I've taken that 23andMe test yet, to which I respond, of course I have. On my 23rd birthday, I blew into that breathalyzer and found out I was 0.2% gin. I also found out I had a little bit of Spanish in me because I bought him for the cop to get out of the ticket. Also, he was really good. No, I do find one thing interesting about my being adopted, which was the nature versus nurture aspect. You see, despite me and my sister both being adopted, I'm left-handed, my mother's left-handed, my father is left-handed, and my sister is a bitch. No, I do identify as queer, but I don't like telling a lot of people that, because the last time I tried to explain the political correctness of queer to someone, he was acting like such a faggot, so I gave up. But speaking of the word faggot, you see, I have a love-hate relationship with that word. I know I can use it, but one day I was at a comedy show. I shit you not. This is a true story. I was at a comedy show and I was watching a headliner perform, and I laughed extremely loud at one of his jokes. And he points at me from the stage and he says, "Shut up, faggot." Now, this was only problematic because he's a straight white male. So obviously, I was super attracted to him. No, but the real issue here is that this man is a terrible comedian. I mean, look at me. I have red hair and freckles. Please call me Faggoty Ann.
Oh, God.
French Canadian, or no, I'm sorry, I am Jewish. Call me has a dick in your ass. I am French Canadian by birth and Spanish and Eastern European by family upbringing. I bet you can't even call me by my name. If you don't get that reference, you guys really should watch more gay films. Anywho, so for all those who have been bullied by ignorance and sexism, and in this case, blatant homophobia, or as I like to call it, straight and afraid. Don't put up with it. Look them dead in the eye and run away and write about it in your journal and then present it to a lot of people on YouTube Live. That's what I do. It makes me feel a lot better about myself. But seriously, with that joke though, I feel like I was actually getting places in shows. Like I finally get my come on my back. I mean, come back. Oh, let's see here. Okay, you know what? Because no one else is laughing, I'm just gonna end on this. So I was thinking about, actually, that's my time. Thank you guys.
I forgot my audio comes through because I got a mixer. So he's like, oh, fuck, there's the beeper. That means it went off for everybody. Shit, my bad. Great set from Matt Lopez. Give it up again. Woo! Yeah, I did my 23andMe and it went a little different. I always thought I was an angry black guy. Come to find out I'm 60% white. Yeah, I guess I'm an angry white guy, right? That's not how it works. I tried that with the cops, and he was like, nah, you're a black guy, all right. Get in the back of the car. Let's go. That's not funny. It's true. If that hurt, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. But it's definitely a different show. I love comedy for 3 reasons. First one, real simple. You can say whatever you want as long as you're part of a group. Second one is you get to laugh at somebody else's pain every once in a while. And third one is everybody needs therapy, and this is cheaper. So
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Our next comedian, I hope they're there. I don't see them, so I don't. Yep, there they are. They popped up. Shit, like, whoo, soccer mom saved me. She was worried. She had me worried. You know what I mean? She tells some funny jokes. One of her favorite. Actually, she tells one of my favorite jokes. I always laugh at the wrong time because I love it, but it's a favorite. It's a SuitMan fave. I'm not going to lie. Give it up for our next comedian. She's out of Seattle. I've worked with her a ton. Give it up for Cara, Rosellini!
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Let's see. So you guys, I've been married now for 13 years. Thank you so much. That's so nice. We aren't totally sure about kids at this point, though I do have 3. They're so sweet. Just, 2 girls and a boy, Caden, Braden, and Jaden. It's just such a good little group. Yeah, they're actually out in the van right now playing with fire, so that's good. I own a 2010 Volkswagen Rutan minivan. Thank you for that. It's a limited edition, which means they don't make them anymore. I think that's because of the recalls, but I mean, who has time to investigate that? I'm not Angela Lansbury, so yeah, the weirdest thing happened though, you guys. My minivan got broken into, and I was so confused because I just don't know what you're after, unless you're like jonesing for a Wiggles CD or like an Elmo teething biscuit or something. I don't know. And this person, they go through the entire van, front to back, all the pockets, and they do not steal a thing, as if my taste in everything is so offensive. They can't steal a perfectly good child. So okay, good. We're done having kids. Kitchen closed. We can rummage in the kitchen. We just are no longer producing the wares at this point. I loved having kids. I loved the process. I loved being pregnant. I feel like the less people expect of me aesthetically, the more free I am. But I loved it. I had a scare actually with my 3rd kid. I was in the room with the ultrasound person, and we were looking up at the little picture, and it's so fun. These ultrasounds are so fun. You get to see so much. It's so specific. And she was saying, all right, there's the four chambers of the heart. There's 10 fingers, 10 uh-oh. And I go, what the fuck? What uh-oh? You can't say uh-oh at an ultrasound. What's the problem? And she goes, I don't know how to tell you this, but your kid's gonna be Republican. I'm like, no, I use mass transit. No. I compost. My prenatals are sourced locally. Okay. This can't be happening. I slept with a woman, goddammit. No. No, I use natural deodorant. Okay. Yeah, I understand it doesn't work. My commitment further. Can you give it something? A shot of kombucha or chia seeds? I mean, is this about the O'Reilly book I read? I don't know. And she couldn't give it anything. She did put some rose quartz on my stomach and shove some black onyx up my ass, but that really just created a positive gut environment. He is still Republican, so he's cute though, he's running around in his little sports coats, pushing along his cute little agenda. So it's pretty sweet. I do have to be careful with him though, because my older two are girls, and I find myself being a bit aggressive with him. He'll say, "Hey mom, next waffle's mine." And I'll go, "Why? Because you're a boy?" He's like, No, mom, it's my turn. I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's always your turn, isn't it, Whitey?" That's just questionable parenting, you guys. So okay, I really like millennials, you guys. I feel like they get such a bad rap. People call them lazy and spoiled and entitled. Us older generations say these things about millennials, and the problem that older generations have with millennials, and I find it very unfair. The problem is millennials, you were loved. That nobody gave a shit about our generation, the older generation. Nobody gave a fuck. I mean, there was no fruit in my lunch. There were no parameters around my Oreo intake. No one was saying stop watching that Knots Landing. Nobody. That I was 8. And we all of Gen X had the Dorothy Hamill haircut. Mm-hmm. It's where they put you in a swivel chair and just held up a razor blade and gave you a spin and let the hair just fall off. And that was boys or girls, that didn't matter. We all had the same haircut. And my little tiny fetus body was not stopping my mom from cigarettes or martinis. So it's really our issue that we don't like millennials, or some don't, and I find it so odd to hate people because of their generations and make fun of them, like the okay boomer thing. And, I think we should build each other up, right? I mean, it's kind of like hating someone because they're a Sagittarius, I mean, now, if there's Sagittarius with Scorpio rising, fuck them. They're just the worst. But I feel like we should build each other up. The boomer generation, they're super hopeful, and Gen X, I mean, the MTV generation, it doesn't get much cooler than that. And until they started having the teen pregnancy shows, then that was not good. But the millennials, I mean, look at their skin. It's so taut and supple, and okay, good. Yeah, that was not what I expected. All right, moving on. I grew up here in Seattle. I lived in LA for many years and recently moved back here to Seattle, and I love it. I forgot how much I loved it. I love the people. they're so motivated, especially those clipboarders outside the natural food stores, you know. They will save those salmon. They will sit in trees for a few years so they don't get cut down. But they will not put a brush through their hair. They have not learned that hygiene is not a sellout. You know? Soap is not Republican. I mean, think globally. Really, please think globally. Just, you know, just clean locally. So, on that, I actually did some grooming this week myself, which for Seattle people, I had a bikini wax, and I'll tell you, it's just they're very uncomfortable and very vulnerable and painful. And what made my situation a little worse was as soon as the esthetician started the bikini wax, she felt like a good pick of music would be Sade. I just feel like nothing says find somebody new to rub hot wax next to your vagina like Sade's Smooth Operator. Ill appropriate, you guys. It's a faulty choice of song, you guys. It's like playing Marvin Gaye at the gynecologist. It's not okay. Not good. So the sex changes a little bit after 13 years of marriage. Not bad at all. That's just a little different. You know, there was a time when, you know, we'd have like candles and music and, you know, wine and all that stuff. And I don't need any of that shit anymore. All I need now is that sweet sound of my husband's CPAP machine coming off his face. That's it. It's magic. I mean, I don't know if you've seen these latest snore machines, but they actually make you look like you're on life support. So much so that like I will leave and then I'll come into the room and I'm like, oh my God, I know. Wait, I was just at the store. Is he on life support? What's that split second of not knowing? But then I'm like, oh, I can role play. I can have a little fun. So I put on my my Harlem Globetrotters sweatshirt because that's my nighttime wear, and I go in and I start saying things like, hey, how about I clean that nasal mask suction? And he'll kind of sway because he's posterity and all. And then I'll invite the kids in, you know, just to say, visiting hours aren't until 7 a.m. Get out, you know, because I'm an actor. I raise the stakes. And then I just end with this, hey, blink twice for applesauce, buddy. Done. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Duante. So excited to see the rest of you. Thank you, guys.
I love Cara. She didn't call it her Wookiee. We did this show live. And she said, I got my Wookiee shaved, and I was up in the theater, and I heard that, and I fucking died. And she was like, it's very inappropriate that my producer's laughing at my Wookiee, and I haven't got to the punchline yet. And I was like, you son of a bitch, I know the joke. Like, I'm waiting for Smooth Operator. I don't even listen to Sade the same anymore. Jesus.
That's
Best
funny.
part, though, is I got some news. For those of you guys who are wondering what the Dorothy Hamill haircut is, don't worry. Our headliner's got it. Derek Sheen Sport Import. You'll see it later. Don't worry. Gotcha, bitch. Yep, gotcha. I figured I'd bring that one out. I couldn't save it till later.
I had it coming.
You had it coming. You knew it was coming when she said that. She's like, Dante's smart enough. He's gonna pick up on that. I wrote down on my little note papers like, yeah, buddy, I got you, bitch. Anyways, give it up for Cara one more time. I know I'm posting this in here a lot. It's on the Facebook feed. You guys are doing well. People are loving your jokes. But just in case you don't know, donate to Seattle's Union Gospel Mission. That's what we're doing this show about. I know Soness talked about growing up homeless. I was in the actual UGM shelter and I know Derek later, our headliner, has some personal experience with it. Well, so $5 is the minimum, but if you've got it, donate what you can. You can even sign up monthly, so you can just give them $5 a month. It's nothing big, but that actually feeds 3 people for a day. So $5 gonna help. Our next comedian, I don't know. I mean, he better be funny. He's the only full black guy on the show, so he's got to be. You know what I mean? Like, if he's not funny, me and Chipp are gonna heckle the motherfucker. Like, what are you? Didn't get your black gene? Like, what's up? You better dance if you can't tell jokes, Rasheed. One or the other. No, damn it. I guess if I was a white producer, I'd really be canceled right now. Did white guy just say that to him? Only 60% of me said that. 39 was like, that wasn't a good idea. That wasn't your best choice of words there. No, but this next comedian, I met him. I had a blast with him. Brought him on and wanted to get him on something, and this is the first one. I'm excited to have him on other projects as well. I know he's in Dark Brew in May. Give it up all the way from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Give it up for my brother, Rasheed Wesley Jr.
Hey,
Oh man. Thanks, Duante, who we all know is only half black, so he only gets half the Wakanda suit. He only got to celebrate 14 days of Black History. Anyway, so no, I'm glad that we're here doing comedy. I love doing comedy because it answers 2 questions that I'm tired of people asking me. Yes, my mother has a drinking problem, and no, I'm not over it. So we can start up here. Like we're at that point. Man, but like the pandemic's hit us all pretty hard. But it's taught me some things about myself. For one, I realized I am way more petty than I thought I was. I'm a petty asshole. Like a couple months ago, remember everybody was getting a PlayStation 5. My buddy got one, and he calls me. He's like, "Ha, I got a PlayStation 5 and you can't play it. Ha ha ha." But then I got the COVID vaccine before he did. So like, so I called him back and I'm like, "Ha, I get to live and you might not. We'll see how this plays out. You don't know." You know what I'm saying? Like a PS5 is dope, but unless that bitch comes with a ventilator attachment, I think I still won. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, man, you gotta think about what you're doing. I lined up so I didn't have to smell my own nasty ass breath in a mask anymore. You lined up for a gaming system. You wasted your Black Friday, fam. Like you know what I'm saying? Get your priorities in order, bro. What you want to do? You want to play Madden or you want to breathe? You gotta pick one or the other. You can't do both at the same time these days. Because I'm just saying, it sounds like a lot of fun, but being dead will really fuck up your 2K rating. That's me. You know, but I'm black, so you know, of course, we don't trust the doctors. So I called my family and I told them, they're like, "Oh my God, you got the vaccine? You don't even know what you're putting in your body. Aren't you worried?" I'm like, "Nah, not really. I eat scrapple for breakfast and I don't know what the fuck is in that." I have no clue. Somebody told me that that's all face meat. I'm like, "Well, that's a delicious face. That's all I know. That's a perfectly good face right there." You think I give a fuck what I put in my body? In college, I used to drink 2 Four Locos a night willingly. Like no one told me to do that shit. You know, in fact, most people told me to stop, and I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. Thank you. I'm gonna keep going." But you know, like of course, I got that one conspiracy theory ass uncle, like who's terrified. Like, aha! But see, now you got the microchip in you. Now Bill Gates gonna track you. I'm like, okay, don't give a fuck. Thanks, don't care. All Bill Gates is gonna learn from my microchip is what poor people do with their day. That's all he's gonna see from me. Bill Gates is gonna be looking at my microchip screen. Is gonna be like, "So you just gonna watch reruns of Martin all day? Like just all day? Okay. Like fuck a job, right? That's fine. Okay." You know, but a lot of people right now are worried about their parents in the pandemic. But if my mother and father didn't kill each other, then COVID ain't gonna do shit. So I ain't worried. Like my mom is 6'2" and my father is 5'5". So yeah, it looks like Kevin Hart matched with Queen Latifah, and it's weird every fucking time you see it. Like no one, like watching them kiss is seeing what would have happened if that T-Rex had actually caught Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. Like that's what it looks like. Like my friends don't even believe they're together. My friends are like, "No, this is an arranged marriage. This is forced. Nobody wants to be here by choice." I know what. No, this is an arranged marriage between the only black Smurf and the angry tree that he lives in. Like, I know. I know an arranged marriage when I see one. Yeah. But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows growing up. Like I said, my mom had a drinking problem. And one time my mom actually blacked out and passed out against the door. The door broke off the hinges and landed on me, who was on the other side of that door. So I am pinned beneath my mom in a door. And the only thing in my head that I can think of is, fuck, man, I'm a virgin. Like, like this is the woman I want to die under. You know what I mean? I kept looking around the door for a more attractive woman. I'm like, please be Janet Jackson. Please be Janet Jackson. And it wasn't. It wasn't. It was Latoya Jackson with a Smirnoff sponsorship. That's who I was stuck with. Like if you don't know what Latoya Jackson looks like, she literally looks like Michael Jackson pretending to be his own sister. That's what she looks like. And not like good looking dark skinned Michael Jackson. I'm talking Michael Jackson when he decided to be a damp Korean lady. Like that's But like so the next morning I woke up and I told my mom and she was really upset. I'm like, Mom, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna get you the help that you need. Don't worry about it. She's like, no, that's not what I'm worried about. I'm just upset that I let you believe that you live in a world where Janet Jackson would fuck you. Like that's my fault. I did that to you. I'm so sorry. And my dad wasn't around much growing up. He split after a little while. But now that I have my own traveling circus of assholes I call a family, I completely get it. Like I'll call my dad up. I'm like, I get it now. He's like, how'd you get this number? Click. There's a fun game we like to play on my birthday every year. He forgets it again, and I cry. Everyone's a winner. It's always a good time. But no, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Family really is hell, dog. Like, don't get me wrong. I love my family to death. My heart is pure. I swear. But I'm also at the point where I've stopped telling them to use seatbelts. Like that's where I'm at right now. Like I don't even bother telling them. Like my daughter gets in the car with me, and she's like, "Daddy, don't you want me to buckle up?" I'm like, "I don't give a fuck what you do. To be honest, to tell you the truth, Like I'm doing 65 miles an hour, and I'm brake checking regardless. So you better figure this shit out on your own. All right." But I try to use it to teach her science. I try to teach her science sometimes. So she's like, well, what if we get into a car accident and I get hurt? I'm like, well, sweetie, if we get into a car accident, you get hurt. That's called natural selection. But if we get into a car accident and you go through the windshield, then that's called evolution because you just learned how to fly. Boo. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to teach her science along the way. That's all. I feel bad, like I come down hard on my family. It's just that like they annoying as fuck sometimes, bro. Like real shit. My wife thinks that we're friends, which is fucking stupid. Like she thinks we're friends. Like the other day, my wife was like, "You're my best friend." I'm like, my wife was like, "Oh, you're my best friend." I'm like, "Oh, really? That's sad." It's fucking sad, right? That's sad. She's like, "Why are we best friends?" I'm like, "Cause you don't do best friend shit. When I fart, you don't fart back or nothing. You just give me dirty looks and shit." And you always want to use, and she always want to use not fun words. She likes to use words like discuss, and I hate that word because it's always some shit I don't want to discuss. It's always, let's discuss who Pizza Hut is and why she's calling you at 3 a.m. Right? She don't never say shit like, let's discuss why we should have more threesomes in our marriage. It's, like, let's just have more fun. I try not to come down on my daughter too hard though, because she's mixed, she's biracial. So she already has it hard enough growing up. Like she's half black, half white. So she doesn't get like the full gamut of black people magic powers. You know what I'm saying? Like she doesn't get black girl magic. She gets black girl sleight of hand. You know what I mean? Like it's the simple card tricks of race. It's like now I nigga, now I don't. Ooh, where'd it go? Something simple. But me, I don't know if it's advantage or disadvantage because both of my parents are black. So I got full nigga magic powers, but I only get one trick. I get one magic trick. And it's that when a police officer shoots me, his body cam magically turns off. That's my only trick. And I can only do it one time. One time. I'm on the ground just like, ta-da. The cop's like, wow, he's amazing. It really was a cell phone the whole time. That's okay. It's crazy. Now I'm about to get out of here, but I'm not gonna start my last joke with I'll leave you with this because I hate when comedians do that shit. Like they're preparing you for them to leave you. You know what I'm saying? Which is bullshit. Because if my dad didn't do it for me, why the fuck should I do it for you? You know what I mean?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I'm gonna leave you the same way my dad left me. Look, man, your mama tripping, okay? Your mama tripping. I don't need this shit anymore. My bags is already packed and my new bitch is outside. Peace.
I don't think he was joking. Give it up for Rasheed Wesley. It's funny because I understand what he's saying. My wife would be like, "We got a problem." Really? The bitch was like, "You got a problem." You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have no problem at all. She had no problems. I had all the problems. And I gotta warn you, Rasheed, you talking about you want threesomes. That's all fine and dandy, but you gotta be specific when she brings home Tyrone. You don't want a threesome. It's called a train, right? I learned the hard way. You know what happens? You know what happens to a booty call when you're late? Become somebody else's booty call. Like, that's what happens. These motherfuckers got an expiration date. They're non-transferable. You know what I mean? Like you can't have that one. You can have the first two. The last one's mine. That's actually one of mine. You can have the other two, though. You can have the other two. What's wrong with you? But that last one, the booty call one, that's personal. That's mine. That happened 2 weeks ago. And we ain't going to talk about that. But yeah, it's based on a true story. But it'll be all right. I'm not going to shit. Oh, God.
Oh, you fool.
I'm having a blast here. I hope you guys are having a blast. This next comedian, she's hilarious. I just was offended by her jokes because, like, I'm fat. And when you're, like, thick fat, you can't make fat jokes. You ain't fat. You just thick. You THICK, baby. You all right. But, you know, she's with all these white ladies in L.A. I get it. It dawned on me. She's on Los Angeles, all the soccer moms and pumpkin spice latte bitches. Yeah, I get it. But I love her set. She's a funny woman. Definitely always has a good time. I think she's ready. Maybe she'll turn on her camera. Maybe she won't. I don't know. Maybe she'll unmute. I'm hoping she does. I'm yelling. Yep, there. Got her attention. That'll work. Now she'll turn on her camera. There we go. Give it up for our next comedian all the way out of Los Angeles, California. I need her to turn on her camera.
Sir, I'm waiting for you to introduce me. You say, and Jasmine Ellis. And then I go, hey, everybody, like a show. I would end.
Give it up for Jasmine Ellis.
All right, I had a method. And he was like, no, you need to stand on the stage
they wouldn't
while
let
I talk about
you.
Yeah, you can't spotlight somebody if their video's not
on your camera. So it's a technology thing. So
noted.
You might have got that in the pre-show meeting. I'm just saying.
Okay. I don't go to anything. I'm like, I'll figure it out. And look at that, we did. We're laughing along. Hi, how's everybody doing? It's funny, as Mr. SuitMan was pointing out, I do sometimes have a couple jokes about my weight, things of that nature. It's funny though, because recently my weight has become like a national topic of discussion. I don't know if you guys know this, but California decided to change the limits on what they consider obese because of the vaccine rollout. But fun fact, they're not asking you what your condition is. So you can just show up and say I'm obese, and they're not going to make you get on a scale. All right. I just want you to know there's no scales at the vaccine sign up. So do what you have to do. And technically, by the way, I have a BMI over 30. So technically I am obese, which if I wanted to, I could be like, oh my God, I should feel so fat shamed. But it's about time fat shaming works in my favor. God damn it. Okay. All right. I mean, BMI as a whole is problematic. The whole concept, BMI, which if you don't know stands for body mass index, it was started by one scientist, a Dutch scientist in the 1600s. He looked at 100 Dutch men, looked at their height, their weight, their bodies, and said, yeah, we should judge all people forever based off of them. That is some bullshit. You went to one blonde country and then looked at 100 untitted individuals and decided their bodies speak. And as a fully titted person, I have a problem with that. I feel underrepresented for the big titty committee, or just the small, as a titty person. I have an issue with that. Also, that is my gender identity, just a titty person. All right. Male, female, just titty. All right. That's good enough. I'm kidding. I just think the word tit is hilarious. I'm going to keep saying it. God, I have been running around like a crazy person today. I did do a show in front of humans. I'm sorry. I know we're doing a lot of the Zoom stuff, but I did an in-person show. And I feel kind of weird about it just because like I got the first dose of the vaccine. So I'm so close, you know? And wouldn't it be so depressing to go an entire year being so safe, not getting COVID, and then to get it from Andy Dick? Like, wouldn't be that the entire world if I got it from a microphone, news radios, Andy Dick spit on in 2020? Like, that would just be so sad. I feel so close. I'm so close to doing better. But I've had to do a couple of shows at colleges, and it's been interesting. College kids are sweet. They're nice, but they have like, Gen Z is weird. Gen Z is very strange because they have this thing where like, it's embarrassing to try too hard. So they're always kind of confused as to like why I'm talking when I'm on stage. And then when something does make them laugh, they go, ha, ha, ha. Like they cover their mouths when, what is that? I don't understand that impulse to like look around and make sure it's okay to think something's funny. So I know I'm officially 30. Like I'm officially 30 when I can look at someone 20 and go, I do not want to be you. I'm so glad I'm allowed to laugh in public. I don't want to be you. Like, it's okay. It is funny. I'm 32. That's my exact age. I just turned 32 2 weeks ago. It's funny being 32 in LA though, because everyone's just like, you don't have to be. Like, you don't, I mean, if you want to be 30, like if that's how you like want to be, you know, like seriously, you could do like 25. Like you know what I mean? You could definitely like I feel like women here answer with their range, not their actual age. And if you just say a number, people think you're insane. I don't know. I've only been here 6 months, so I'm still kind of adjusting. And it's weird because when you move to an entirely new city in the middle of a pandemic, you don't get to truly experience it. So all I've experienced is just waiting in line at the grocery store. Like that has been my majority of my social interactions. So if I was going to judge all of LA by the way they behave at Ralph's, I hate you. That's what I would get. But obviously that's not a fair gauge of all of LA. Okay. It's just a couple of people who like to stand in my fucking back pocket. Those people get on my nerves. Other than that, I will stand on that little 6 foot sign and like stomp on it to indicate, and they just still stand. They stand too close. Also, they struggle with the phrase, excuse me. People don't say excuse me. And it's weird to be in a grocery store at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday and have the same energy that I used to have at 2 a.m. on a Saturday in the club. Because I remember being in the club like, I guess bitches can't say excuse me. I guess we're just rude. And just like my fight or flight mode was just activated. I was ready. That's one thing that bothers me. Also, people who don't know how to react when they hear the word excuse me, that bothers me. This keeps happening to me. Someone will be standing my way and I go, excuse me. And they go, yeah, what's up? What's up? And I'm just like, do you think I want your autograph? Do you think I'm like, what are you? You're in the way of the peas. I just need you to just move to thank you. So just weird interactions, but I like I said, I traveled a little bit. I'm trying to stay put as much as I can because my poor mom was so worried about me. She bought me a shield to keep me safe on the plane, like an actual plexi, like it's this little piece of plastic. It's not little at all. It's a huge piece of plastic and you clamp it down to the seat next to you. She got me 2. So when I sit in the planes, I literally have a sneeze guard up like I'm the salad bar at the Sizzler. Like, and people look crazy. They laugh. They're very confused. There's always that one person who's like, should I get one of those? You can see it in their eyes. And I'm like, yes, you should. Okay. Because people don't keep their masks on. So I usually feel pretty safe, but I had to fly to the Midwest, and the Midwest is real Midwest. They're still very Midwestern out there. They mean well, but there was a couple that literally was like, oh my goodness, you are so safe in there. Look. And I was like, please don't poke the animals. Like, I didn't know what to say. I put myself in this situation and it was completely avoidable, but it's what I did. I'm married. I'm a married lady. Been married 2 years, and I have to get comfortable with saying I'm married because I'm not engaged. I'm not a bride. I'm just a wife, and I'm going to be a wife till I die. And that's okay, I guess. I don't know. I miss having some forward momentum. I miss looking forward to something. And in case you're like to me as a wife, it's just a little frustrating because you've hit the peak of your job, of your like marriage career path. I can't. There's no other promotions. And no, I don't think being a mom is a promotion. I don't. It looks like a scam to me, honestly. It does. It's the only job where your boss shits on you a lot. And if you're particularly bad at it, they throw you in jail. I do not believe motherhood is the career path for me. It looks wrong. It looks incorrect. I don't know. If I didn't have to be pregnant, I'd consider it. You know what I mean? Like if I get Kardashian money and can start outsourcing the babies, then I think I might do that. But until I have that kind of situation, I don't see it. It just looks like too much work. Honestly, if I could get a dude pregnant, I would. I do. I absolutely would. Derek, you're on Europe deck. You know what I mean? I don't care. Shoot you up, shoot the club. Everybody pregnant. That's what I would do. I would sow my seed because the world, I'm arrogant enough to believe the world needs more of me. It just shouldn't come from me. That's my only thought on it. It just should not come. Look, I have so much admiration for women who give birth. It looks tough. It looks very difficult. I don't even know. I don't know. I do think sometimes though that I do feel like maternal instinct. Like my sister had a baby last year, and I'm telling y'all, my sister and I have always like not seen eye to eyes. We've always been competitive all the time. But something, when I held her baby in my arms, I felt this like warmth inside me. Like all of a sudden I was just like, I can do better. This is my chance to outdo her. It might be time to have a baby. Thanks guys so much. That's my time. Thank you.
Jesus. Woo! How y'all doing? That was Jasmine Ellis. Looks like my cousin from North Carolina. I'm not gonna fucking lie to you. All light skins do look alike. I take that back. There's us, and then there's that other light skin side where they get the nappy hair and the acne. That's the
meaning
of
the movie.
Whoa.
Minority.
That's what I just said.
There
He's
we
been
go.
worrying about, not the thing that I just referred to.
Whoa. That was weird. We had somebody talking. I don't know. I muted them both just to make sure. Like, Jesus. It's funny because, being mixed, you get your culture mistaken a lot. And I had a lady ask me last week if I was one of those Samoas. And I was like, no, ma'am. Not a Girl Scout cookie. But give it up one more time for Jasmine Ellis, everybody. Woo! She reminds me, I should have went that route and not becoming a father. It wasn't a promotion. I should have just stayed dad. Like, yeah, dads. I'm with her. Parenting is not a promotion. Just stay married and rich and go on vacation. It's a whole lot better. Damn it. Sorry. I digress. Let's be positive. This next guy definitely looks like he's the mascot for Notre Dame. You put a little green hat on him and put him in a little green outfit, and Ryan looks like he's definitely one of the Fighting Irish. I love this guy. Best part about this show is most of you guys I've booked and I've seen, and so it's awesome to hear all you guys bring your A game and hear you support and make each other laugh. And Ryan's one of the guys who says, you know what? I'm not mad SuitMan doesn't book white guys. I still support you. But on your one show where you book me, what the fuck up, man? I was like, okay, hey, calm down. Don't go postal. I got you. So let's see what he's got. He said he's bringing me 10 hot minutes of not do. I trust him. Give it up for my brother from Portland down the I-5 corridor. Give it up for Ryan Danley!
Yeah. I know. I look like a baby who joined a prison gang. You all taking that CBD oil? You don't like that, Duante? You take that CBD oil? Yeah, that shit's weak. I take PCP oil. Yeah, you might not have inflammation, but I just fought 6 cops, so I think I win. I was cruising around the internet today, and I saw somebody refer to that last year of the Trump presidency as a dumpster fire. And, I don't really care where you land politically. I don't really think that was a very fair statement. These dumpster fires are fucking rad. At
Mhm.
least the dumpster fires I start are. I'm not here to tell you your dumpster fires aren't gorgeous. Mine, majestic. Hey, you think that England ever looks at America and is like, "Yo, we really dodged a bullet on that one. I want to see if we can go back." You know, I know everybody loves it here. We invented like electricity and the car. We also invented like meth and that song "Taking Care of Business." You know, taking care of business every day, taking care of business every way. Professional songwriter wrote that song. Looked at it and said that shit was good. And then we bought it and we kept listening to it. That's America. I'd love to be English, but I think the only thing I could never do in England is have a kid, because there's no way I could be like washing the dishes or something in here behind me. Hey, Daddy, come and play with me. Not expecting to like turn around and see like some floating pale ghoul in an old timey white, sleeper outfit. Couldn't do it. So I've ended up dating in my life a lot of women who work at Starbucks for some reason. I know it's what you're all thinking. I'm smooth like an Italian shot of espresso. More like a white mocha frappuccino. Full of fat and wish I was black. No, I don't like racism. I hate racists. I like to argue with them online a lot. I had a racist tell me the other day, said, "You just hate yourself because you're white." I said, "Motherfucker, being white doesn't make the top 10 reasons I hate myself." Clearly, you've never seen me at 3 a.m. eating fistfuls of shredded cheese straight out of the bag. And he said to me, "You know what? We need a White History Month." What more white history do we need? In high school, I didn't learn shit about Mexico. I didn't learn shit about China. And I definitely didn't learn anything about Africa. But we all know what kind of shoes they wear in Holland. When was the last time you were in a Dutch neighborhood? I don't understand homophobes either. Love who you love. Be who you want to be. I don't even think that we're all straight. You're only straight is if you woke up tomorrow and there was no member of the opposite sex, as long as it's going to take you to start fucking, I think there's be some stalwart guys out there, really like dig their heels in for probably about, 15 minutes. The rest of us are going to all look around at each other and be like, "So we all sucking each other's dicks now? Is that what's going on here?" Cool. Shit, I'm only as straight as the last time I saw a Tom Hardy movie. Shit, Idris Elba, that guy can string her my bells. I don't even know what that shit means, but that's just some shit I'd let that fucking guy do. You guys ever shake up your 8-ball of Coke like it's a magic 8-ball? Am I gonna die tonight? Ask again later. Good enough. You're all lucky you're on the show with me tonight, and everybody watching. Someday you're gonna tune into my Netflix special, and you're gonna be like, "Didn't I see that serial killer doing stand-up comedy?" No, I could never be a serial killer. Say what you want about them. Those are some motherfucking hard workers. It's like a lot of driving. Twist your ankle walking through the woods at night. Not for me. You a ham man? Dante, you a ham man? You like ham? Dante, you like ham?
Ham?
Yeah, you dig ham?
I'm black. We try not to eat the swine other than bacon. You know what I mean? Like I eat bacon like a motherfucker.
Cara, you eat ham? You ham?
Me?
Yeah. You like ham?
No.
No? You're killing me. Well, I'm a ham man. I like
I eat ham. I eat ham all the time.
Thanks, Chipp. I knew there was had to be some ham people here, God, I fuck with ham all the time. I fucking love it. Like, what an excellent fucking invention day. You know, they looked at that pig's ass and they were like, you know what we need? We need some smoke. We need some salt. And they created this beautiful fucking thing that we've eaten for a long time. Then a couple of other brilliant people had the greatest idea of like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to spread some fucking honey on it. I like all the hams. I eat prosciutto, honey baked, regular ham. I even fuck with the goth cousin, Black Forest ham, you know? Man, I had to go to fucking the Black Forest to get this ham. Shit. I bet you honey baked ham's afraid to hang out with Black Forest ham. Black Forest ham probably cuts itself, you know? You guys ever get out in America? Ever get out to the you know, I live in Portland, you know, so I'm like firmly in the bubble. Sometimes I have to get out there in middle America, you know, where they're like putting ranch dressing on their spaghetti or something, you know. Still mourning the death of Sons of Anarchy's Jack Steller, you know, like, you know what you find out there? Kid Rock fans. Literal fans of Kid Rock's music. Now I like Oxycontin and fried bologna sandwiches as much as anybody, you know? But I have no idea why that guy is still so fucking famous. When do you even tell somebody that you're a Kid Rock fan, like on a date? That's gotta come somewhere between like herpes and sexual predator registry. The only explanation for being a Kid Rock fan is if you were raised underneath a strip club stage, like some sort of Cracker Barrel Anne Frank. Guys, appreciate it.
Give it up for Ryan Danley. I'm not sure if he's standing out the strip club because he's waiting on the stripper or if he's the security guard, but he's got the look of either guy. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ. He killed me. He was like, do you like ham? I was like, you're doing crowd work in the wrong area. I'm trying to lose weight. Like, is this weight? You know what I mean? Meat Eaters Anonymous? Are you trying to get me in trouble? Shit. Oh, fuck. My next sponsor, Vegan, is the vegan company. Sorry, I'm just fucking with you, Ryan. Shit, that would be fucked up if it was like, yeah, brought to you by Vegan Meals. We leave all the hay at home. Fuck, I don't know. That's pretty horrible. This next comedian, though, she's all fancy and shit. I thought it was hilarious. She told her dad she took second. He's like, you didn't win, huh? Like, what kind like that's some real shit. Like that I'm Asperger's and I do that shit all the time. Like, people say something to me and I just hear the answer I want. Like, oh, so we're not going on a date tomorrow is what you said. Well, no, I said we could go. I know, I'm more worried about tomorrow. Don't care about next weekend, right? But she's definitely funny. I've had her on before. She asked for the pin ultimatum spot on the fucking lineup, and I was like, I'm not Googling this shit, and I'm smart. I knew what it meant, but do you know what it meant? Or are you just using big word? Why didn't you just say I want to go second to last, you son of a bitch? It'd have been less letters. You know what I'm saying? Never mind. Anyways,
it was one word.
It was
one word.
It's still less letters. There's more typing. You know what I mean? Like, W is actually more letters than just saying. Sorry. Anyways, our next comedian. I know how to read too. Don't worry. Our next comedian out of New York, New York. Give it up for Jocelyn Chia.
Hey, everybody. I mean, I don't know how you do in your country, but in our country, we're like, oh, I'm going to go penultimate. And the headline is like, I'm going to go ultimate. So that's just how we roll in New York City. I'm kidding. It's just me. I grew up as a nerd, so I use words like penultimate. And yeah, I grew up in Singapore, former British colony. We were actually the same country as Malaysia for a hot minute until Malaysia dumped us and broke up with us. But the crazy thing is 60 years later, our national anthem, Malay. Our national language, Malay. Our national potato chip, Lays. every morning we have to sing the national anthem in Malay. It's almost like Singapore is the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend still trying to get her ex-boyfriend back. She's like, hey, Malaysia, I still play our song. You know, Malaysia actually sends raw water to Singapore. Singapore purifies the water and sends it back to Malaysia. Yeah, guys, we are the world's first water laundering scheme.
Nice.
Went to an all-girl Catholic high school. Anyone else here? A slut? You know, going to an all-girls school taught me a lot about my sexuality. For example, I learned that 500 high school girls don't find me sexy. So I grew up fat. I was considered obese actually, but Asian obese, so 100 pounds. In high school, to get me to lose weight, my teacher put me in this club called the Fit and Trim Club. And I was like, wait, fit and trim? But that acronym is fat. I also grew up Catholic, and the Catholic Church believes that if you die before you're baptized, you spend an eternity in hell. So when I was young, I asked my parents, Mom, Dad, you baptized me, right? And they're like, oh, sorry, we were busy playing mahjong. So at 16, I had to get myself baptized just in case, you know, I don't want to spend eternity with my parents. We also have to do this thing called tithing in the Catholic Church, where we have to donate 10% of our income to the church. And when I first started working, I was a lawyer and I made $10,000 every month. So I was like, what? I have to donate $1,000 to God every month? No way, Jose. Or rather, no way, Jesus. I was like, what's God gonna do if I don't give him money, huh? Turn me into a comedian? Now when people ask me, why do you leave the law for comedy? I say, oh, it was God's will. No, I left my job as a lawyer to be a comedian because I just got so tired of making so much money. When I was 10, I found my mom's massaging vibrator in her nightstand. It was meant for her body, but I put it on my vajayjay. And in that moment, my mind was blown. And I was so young, I thought I had discovered the orgasm, but I'm Chinese. So my next thought was, I need to monetize this. So I go to school the next day and I introduced this toy to all my girlfriends. I was like, okay, girls, free trial. But after that, 10 cents per pop. And so we're in this classroom and we're all playing with our vajayjays. When in walks in our teacher, Sister Maria. And when Sister Maria sees us playing with this vibrator, she joined in. And then she gave me 10 cents. But I'm a good Catholic girl, so I gave her 1 cent back.
Oh God.
Anyway, this really is the joy of my life, making white people do math in a comedy show. DC comedy, a good friend of mine, he lived in Singapore for a long time. So he can attest to what I say when I say Chinese people, we love money, man. So for example, I learned that one of my YouTube videos had gone viral on China's YouTube. And I was like, China has a YouTube? And the first thing I did was not to go on China's YouTube to see how viral I went. The first thing I did was buy the stock. I was like, if I'm not getting rich from comedy, I'm getting rich from buying China's YouTube. So I went to America for college and I joined a sorority, and there was this sorority girl who came out to ask me where my skirt was from. I tell her, oh, my skirt's from Singapore. And she's like, oh my God, Singapore. I don't know that store. And I had a hard time with American slang in the beginning. For example, once I accidentally texted my professor. And so I said to him, oops, booty call. And that's how I have a 4.0 GPA. And the word shit was very confusing because I thought shit was just a bad thing, right? But apparently if you just add the before shit, it becomes the shit, which is so great that Americans get so upset when they lose it. And in Singapore, we use this word "la" a lot. So it's just like a sound that we put at the end of a sentence. It doesn't even mean anything. So for example, I can say, I'm going to the store la, like we're just like add la at the end for no good reason. But I got so used to saying la that even when I came to America and I had to go for chorus singing during Christmas, I would go fa la 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 la. I think that was a joke really for DC because he lived in Singapore for so long. That's why I needed to do the Zoom call. I live in New York now, and once I was at the subway station waiting for my train, and it was an empty platform, so there was a lot of space around me. But this guy came by and he like brushed me against my arm. Like I was like, what the fuck was that? There's so much space around. And another girl came out to tell me, oh, he did the same thing to me too. It's like, oh my God, we have a freaking sexual assaulter. And then this asshole dared to do it again to me too. Dared to do it to me again. He came by and he like brushed against my other arm. And so this time I turned around and I punched him in the chest. He starts running off. I gave chase. I'm running after this guy. And when he was really close to me, I threw myself on him and tackled him and started like hitting him like, you asshole, how dare you just go around assaulting women? Like, fuck you, you piece of shit. And then my train came. And I was like, oh crap, I'm late for meditation. They say women tend to go for men who remind us of our dads. I know I do, because like my dad, this guy I've been dating is skinny with a lazy eye. And like my dad, he's always telling me how beautiful my sister is. But eventually we broke up because I didn't know this, but lazy eyes can still wander. Fuck. Break up was tough because we had so much in common. I loved him, he loved him. I got very depressed because it was COVID, breakup, no comedy, and I was even getting suicidal, which was really worrying until I realized, oh, it's just a side effect of my medication. So that was a relief until I realized the medication was aspirin. They say love is colorblind. I believe that. So I saw so many red flags with this guy, but I was like, oh, that looks green. He would text me in the middle of the night just asking to come over. And once he texted me at 4:30 a.m. in the morning, and I was like, oh, he's a morning person. Like, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I was like, oh, we're getting married. And in the very beginning, he warned me. He's like, hey, Jocelyn, I am afraid I'm going to hurt you. And I was like, no, I want you to spank me harder. He only dates his friends. Like, he only preys on his female friends, which I thought was kind of shady. But now I realize why he does it because, thanks, Duante, because that's how he gets women who are out of his league. Not that I'm so amazing, but this guy, for example, he doesn't have a swipe rightable face. He was jobless at the time, and he spells the word chic S-H-E-E-K. All of you are out of his league. But I met this one guy at a dinner party who was bragging about how he has this way to get women to kiss him on a first date that never fails. I was like, oh, what do you do? He goes, after the date, I send her home and I go like this. I was like, that works? That's so nerdy. And he's a bit of a nerd, software engineer, developed a bunch of apps, and he sold his apps to Google and Facebook and Microsoft. And when I heard that, I was like, guys, you have been so much fun. I'm Jocelyn Chia. Thank you so much. I'm on Instagram, Jocelyn Comedy, Jocelyn.
Yeah.
Woo! Give it up for Jocelyn. Jesus. She kills me because the first time I heard her do that, she's so deadpan and doesn't change. Is like, oh, fuck. All right. She's not joking. Okay. And then she talks shit like that, too. I don't know how to respond. Black folks, we be having some sort of expression. She just talks shit and be like, yeah, that's it. I said it. Yeah, see, look, that's the laugh you get. Haha, good job. I'm going to kick your ass. I feel like it's a ninja movie every time we talk. Like, I'm not ready for this fight. She was talking about pre-ultimate and ultimate, and I'm like, this ain't going Super Saiyan. This ain't Dragon Ball Z, you son of a bitch. Never mind. That's the nerd in me. Nobody else? All right, whatever. Give it up one more time for Jocelyn Chia, you guys.
Yeah.
Well, if you didn't know it, you've made it. You know, I'd say we saved the best for last, but he's a white guy. He knows better. He's only half last, you know. Nah, I love this guy. He's a funny fucker. He's open for Brian Poston. He's a shitty cook, though. I gotta let you know that. We did this show on Twitch where we cooked off. I think I was the only one to set the place on fucking fire. We had the fire trucks come. It was a fucking blast. I digress, but I wish it was still on Twitch. That was a good fucking time. Am I wrong, Derek? Shit.
Loved it. I loved it.
And I was going against his chef friend. I was actually kicking his ass. I made this teriyaki with the quinoa and It was, never mind. Anyways, I digress. I'm not a fucking cook. I'm definitely not a comedian, but I'm a decent host. This next comedian's funnier than shit. He's got a couple specials. I believe they're on Amazon, if I remember correctly. Like I said, he opens for Brian Poston. He'll be on the road not till September. I think I'm talking him into doing my deaf show in September as well, so we'll see. Love this guy in real life. Get up for a headliner for the show, Derek Sheen!
Thank you for having me. Hey, thanks to everybody that did this. This is nice. I don't do a lot of stand up, especially with I've been at home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not touching anything. I'm not licking anything. I've got 3 masks when I leave the house. I've always been a little paranoid. This is perfect for me. I thrive in this environment. I love just not. First off, I miss being home. And that was the thing I said. I was on the road like 10 months out of the year, and I'd be like, man, it'd be great to just be at home. And then pandemic, and now I'm like, I fucking hate this. Who's I? And it's like I don't know how to emote to people anymore. Like the isolation is weird for me, and I don't know how to like you build it as a skill set. As a comic, you're really good with people, you learn how to like talk in any situation. And now I feel like I've been dulled down to, I'm basically, I'm a walking, talking dumbwaiter. That's all I am. I just bring things from one floor to the other. And I, with a mask on, I don't talk anymore. And so this is nice. It's nice to be around people because my full-time job now is I caretake my 94-year-old grandfather, who he's my grandfather, but he's 94. So we're on a slow but steady cognitive decline. And I took custody of him after my mom died. And long story short, here's the thing about grief. I'll share very quickly. The first week after my mom died, I was like, I'm going to get a tattoo. I'm going to get it because my mom is like, no tattoos. I don't want a tattoo. Nobody's marking that body. It took me 28 hours of labor. Nobody's going to paint on it. And then when she was dead, I was like, I should get a tattoo. And then I got this tattoo. I got my mom's name on my arm. And I was very proud of, I transferred the pain into that arm. And then about a month later, when I started feeling normal, I was like, oh, that's the hand I used to masturbate with. So that's grief. So now I take care. And what's interesting about my mom's side of the family, both sides of the family really, but my mom's one of the same, is they don't process emotion very well. They certainly don't show it. They don't say, like, all they do is complain about things. That's kind of how they communicate with each other. There's nobody ever has a good night's sleep. Someone's always it was going great until I woke up, and then you're like, well, that was sleep. It was ruined. And like my family will find weird things to complain about, and it's crazy. Like they can't say nice things, they can't be constructive. So I've grown up in this environment where I have to create this or reconcile that. Like my. It's essentially like being around people who just go, God, my orgasms just won't stop. And like that, like it's that kind of, what are you complaining about? And so I have him now, and he can't tell me how he feels. He can't tell me I feel good or I feel loved. He can't say those things because he is 94, which means he's rooted in early 20th century patriarchy. So as a man, you can't show any emotion because that's a vulnerability. So what he does now is he started anthropomorphizing all of his feelings through his dog. The little poodle that he says is a service animal because he bought a vest on Amazon. And service animals don't just go up and snatch food out of your fucking hand or just shit anywhere they like. That's a service animal, but he used to take it into Ivers, and the dog, he treats it like a person, and then he uses the dog to emote for him. And when we first started taking care of him, it was adorable because he was feeling things, and he would say things like, "Oh, Shadow," that's the dog's name. "Shadow is so happy that you called to check on me." Shadow was very excited. He knew it was you when the phone started ringing. He got very excited. So Shadow just wanted to reach out. "Thank you for checking on us." And, "Oh, Shadow's excited. You're coming over this weekend to bring groceries. Shadow can't wait to see you." And at first I was like, this is adorable. And now about a year into this, it's taken on a whole darker tone where he'll just say things like, "Shadow's got a lot of regrets." Like that's where Shadow watched a couple YouTube clips of your stand-up, and Shadow is like, "We really should have paid to send him to culinary school." Shadow's got a lot of Shadow's the only living member of Shadow's platoon. Nobody now, and Shadow's having a hard night. The other night, Shadow woke up out of a start, covered in a cold, damp sweat. Happy to be alive. Shadow, all of Shadow's clothes off and just go lay on the leather couch to cool Shadow's skin. Shadow's got a lot of regrets. And so it's hard to do for 4-year-old man. And I don't know if you've had to go into a Skechers store on purpose. That's I was like, I had to go into a Skechers store. I didn't even know that they sold Skechers. I thought Skechers is a thing you just caught. Like you just wake up and your tennis shoes are shitty. And you're like, "Oh man, overnight they turn into fucking Skechers. God damn it." And we moved during COVID. This has been like, we had to move because we had to take in my grandfather. So we needed to play. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. We had downsized from a house, and we moved into a small apartment, just learning how to like get rid of things. And we moved into a supremely shitty part of North Seattle, where our apartment was the corner, and on the other 3 quarters that surrounded us, on one corner was a cemetery, and then on the other side was another cemetery, and then in front of us was a hospital. So, so any day you're just like, there's like so does anybody, if you haven't gotten the Nextdoor app, it's so fun. So my friend talked me into getting a Nextdoor app, and I got the Nextdoor app for where I live, between 2 cemeteries and a hospital. And most of the time the Nextdoor app would just be like, you know what, people are sleeping in the cemetery again, or the doorcomer is bad, which, by the way, the doorcomer was a guy that just went to our apartment building and just routinely came on people's doorknobs, and they would just be like, "Nextdoor alert, the doorcomer's back." And so that's where I lived. I lived between 2 cemeteries and a hospital, where a guy just jizzed on random door handles. And then we moved, and I moved to a much different neighborhood. Like the first day we were here, I shit you not, I got a Nextdoor alert that said, "Be on the lookout for a cat in a bow tie who likes to come door to door looking for cookies and sweets." And I was like, so extremely white neighborhood, a lot of cats just walking around. It's totally free. And oh my God. It's a weird time to do this, the thing we're doing, like to do comedy Like, it's just, this is weird. This is a weird way to do this where we're all remote. No one, I don't know if I'm making eye contact. Who am I looking at? Yeah, I could be looking at, I might even have Twitter up on my screen right now. Like, we are supreme. I like it this way, actually. I mean, I'm not necessarily complaining. I like that we don't have to, like, performatively, we don't get anything back right away. We really have to process over the course of the evening. For the next couple hours, I'll just be like, what did I do? Was that worth it? What happened to me? What, as a person? What happened to me chemically? Am I real? Am I tangible? My grandfather would be like, oh, Shadow's so sad. Right out of that. And oh, it's a weird, like, this is just a weird time to like, this is the good thing about this pandemic is it has actually given me something that is a shared experience, because most of I've had an incredibly weird life. I don't have normal things that are comparative. When you talk to people, they go, I had this experience, and then everybody else goes, me too. I don't have that. I have a weird dark underbelly that I live in, and so it's very hard for me to be social because I don't have things to share. And this is one of those things where I'm like, oh, I did something everybody else did. We all stayed home, terrified that we weren't going to have toilet paper. Like, we all did that. We lived that in this weird, godforsaken Mad Max Thunderdome lifestyle for a year. And that's great because I don't have anything else to share with people. Like, I don't have, like, I never graduated high school. I never graduated. I never had that experience of being able to put on a cap and a gown and walk with all your peers and your parents are there and everybody's proud. I didn't have that. Like, I didn't have that. So when my friends talk about those experiences, it's very unique for me because I can't go, I graduated from high school, but I did live in my own apartment in high school, rent free, because my roommate was a level 4 sex offender and his mom was the apartment manager who said, if you promise to watch my son, I'll just let you live here rent free. But I didn't actually graduate from high school, so I don't have similar experiences. Like, I've never held a job for more than a year, But in my 20s, I dated a Vietnamese exchange student, and neither of us spoke the same language, but we managed to communicate for months. And then one night, she showed me how to hotwire a car, and then we stole a car and drove all the way to Eugene, Oregon, and lived in a car for a month. But I've never held a job for more than a year. Like, I don't have things where I can go like, yeah, comparative idea. Like, I've when I was in elementary school, I watched my 5th grade teacher, Shirley Burnham, choke to death on a cough drop and drop dead in the middle of our classroom. And all the kids had to process this because we were in class at the time. And it was heartbreaking. It was shocking. They brought in someone to talk to all the kids. And of course, I was the weird kid who was like, I'm totally cool with it, man. I get it. It's just part of life. And they were like, check his bag every time he comes in. and it was just because I liked Mrs. Burnham, but I understood death's it's an inevitability. And I was a dark kid, and we went through a few substitute teachers, but after about a week, they landed on a guy named Robert Bankhead. And Robert Bankhead was he was a giant. I mean, he was easily 6 feet tall and topping out 425, 450. Big dude. Loved to read Starlog magazine. There were two kinds of people growing up in the 80s for me. That you're either a Starlog person or a Fangoria person. I was a Fangoria person. Mr. Bankhead was a Starlog person, and he would just read Starlog magazine. He didn't give a shit about any of the kids. And we started to just form a resentment against Mr. Bankhead, enough so that we would just start, like, one day I just put chocolate X-Lax in his coffee, and then he hours later, and we would just torture Mr. Bankhead, because I think that's how we processed our loss, is we saw him as trying to replace Mrs. Burnham, who we all loved. And so we were projecting our anger on Mr. Bankhead. And about 3 weeks into him being a substitute there, one day he didn't show up for work and we didn't know what happened. And then for a few days, he just didn't come back. And we were all kind of relieved. And then a newspaper article came out in the local paper that said that they arrested him because when he came into the teacher's lounge, someone in the teacher's lounge saw inside of his briefcase that there was a loaded handgun in his briefcase. And so they turned him into the police. And my mom was like, that's why Mr. Bankhead's not at school anymore. But then about 3 months later, she sat me down and said, now that everything's clear, I can tell you what happened is you and several other kids were actually on a list that he was going to murder with a handgun. And I was like, holy shit, my 5th grade teacher was going to shoot me with a handgun. And look, I had it coming for the X-Lax thing. But but what I'm saying is I've never had a threesome. Do you guys get where I'm coming from? Like, like most people have done that. They've had a threesome. I've not had that experience. I've seen 4 dead bodies, but I've never had I've never been part of an orgy, but my dad was in the mob. Anyways, long story. It's weird. It's just, and I don't know who was talking earlier about millennials, but like, it's hard because I'm 51 and I don't want to be that older. I don't want to be the older comic. I don't want to be the guy who just, their whole thing is just, you're angry because I'm in that descent, that rapid descent into fucking mortality. Where at 50, here's how it goes. 20, you're exploring your freedoms and you're testing your limits, and you do feel like you're unencumbered by gravity, and you're just putting everything in your body, drugs, alcohol, every experience you can. You're building your book. And then at 30, you start working on the book and you start editing it down and boiling down your thoughts and your ideas to get them into a more logical format, a better framework. And then in your 40s, you try to get that book published. That's your life's work. This is your legacy now. You've recognized your legacy. And then at 50, you go, oh my God, I dislocated my knee falling off a toilet when I slipped in my own urine. And then it's all downhill from there. You need 3 suits. You need one just a going out suit, just a regular suit, maybe a gray. It doesn't go with anything. Then you need 1 wedding suit and then 1 for funerals. And trust me, you're going to replace that funeral one a lot. Like after 50, people just start fucking dropping like flies. It's cutting the strings off of marionettes. Everybody, uncles, aunts, friends, boom, boom, boom. Everybody's dead. It's amazing. And I can't get to that place where I'm shitting on young people, because that's what old people do. That's the first step when you start to fall, is you start going like, young people, they all have it too easy and they're so lazy, and I don't get new things scare me, and concepts and cancel culture, and they just scared of things that don't. You ever notice the people who are like most scared of cancel culture don't fucking matter? So there we go, get that out of the way. Who gives a shit if you get fucking canceled? By the way, only privileged people can get canceled. You guys realize that, right? Like people who just work a regular 9 to 5 aren't worried about getting canceled. It's people who are just like, I have an ego and I have a public persona and I'm worried. Like nobody else is fucking worried. You know, it's rich people and privileged people. And if somebody canceled me, I'd be so fucking stoked, because it meant somebody cared enough about what I said and did that they thought getting rid of me might make a difference. So that's how I look at it. But I can't shit on young people because if you're a millennial, by the way, I'm fucking thank you. And if you're Generation Z, you're doing all the hard backbreaking work, and I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you for putting up with us. And you're going to turn into us at some point, and somebody else is going to hate you. And it's just a fucking circle of life. But let me tell you something. If you're a Gen Z, first off, I won't make fun of millennials because they're fucking 38 now. So let's just
fuck you, buddy. Fuck you.
They're old people now. But like I grew up like in the most privileged time of all. Like you could just take a lawn dart to school and nobody gave a shit, right? Like you could practice your butterfly knife on. I grew up in a very privileged time, and I will never use the passage of youth as like comedic fodder to stand up above it and be like, I'm better than that. You guys will never know what MTV was like. And so I don't want to be that old, but I do want to ask, like, if you know Gen Z people, if you know Zoomers or younger millennials, you're doing great work. You're doing all the heavy lifting. I can't thank you enough for doing all the hard social reparation of the fabric of fucking society, despite everyone pushing against you, you shitty, illiterate hunchbacks. Just keep on doing ask nothing. As a 51-year-old, I ask nothing of you. Just keep on doing your hard progressive work, including getting everyone in the middle of the circle, get them all in there, bring them all in. We all need to come on, everybody inside the circle. And I ask nothing, but it would help to bring older people in if you guys could just stop talking about eating each other's buttholes. Don't eat a butt. I'm not here to kink shame. I'm just saying, just down, because you scare people. They're not all at the same level that you're at. Just eat the butt eating thing. And look, I'm not here to kink shame. I personally, because now we're all friends, I can't come unless my wife farts on my reading glasses, and that's my thing. And call it an Arizona shower door. You guys are welcome. Give money to Union Gospel Mission. Those people, they helped me when I was houseless and on the street for a while. Great. They do amazing work. It's a mission. That's it. It's in the word, mission. So if you got any money, throw $5 at them. Thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me ramble. You guys it's good to see you, everybody.
Give it up for Derek Sheen. God damn it, you son of a bitch. In 2 different ways you offended me. Because I'm going over that hill, I hit 40. But I don't eat groceries. So I'm definitely not a millennial. You know what I mean? Like, I caught myself the other day. You guys don't know fucking music. And then, like, we're identical. I'm in charge of my 91-year-old grandpa, too. And this fucker had the balls to cuss me out about his money one day. If you don't give me my fucking money. And I was like, oh, your fucking money. I'll be there in 5 minutes. I said, I got your fucking money for you, old man. He's, I'm sorry. I said, I know you, motherfucker. You know what I'm talking about. We're not bullying old people. They cussed us out first. Fuck you guys who feel sad for them. Hey, make some noise. We've had a great time tonight. Definitely an awesome show. All the way from Japan, opening it up. We had Soness Stevens. Next, from DC, we had Chipp Jones. After that, from Boston, Mass., we had the Ginger, Matt Lopez. My Wookiee friend out of Cara, who didn't use my favorite word, was smooth operator. It's okay. We had Cara Rosellini out of Seattle. My brother from another mother, Rasheed Wesley out of Williamsport, Pennsylvania. We had my light-skinned cousin from LA, Jasmine Ellis. We had Ryan Danley, the angry Irish guy from Portland. We had Jocelyn, Chia. Oh boy, she made me laugh. From New York. And our headliner for the night out of Seattle, also Derek Sheen. Do me a favor, even those on the show, those watching, if you can, go to the UGM, make a small donation. $5 feeds 3 people for 3 days. So I have 3 people for a day. So do what you can to help. Thank you for being on here. If you're up tomorrow, SuitMan Productions is doing Autastic Artists at 8 a.m. We're interviewing Emma Roberts out of UK. She's a consultant, a coach, YouTuber, artist. She does a whole bunch of stuff for the autistic community, and we talk about their struggles. So if you didn't know, I'm a little Asperger's. For those who didn't tell, I'm not just weird. There's a reason. So give it up for SuitMan Productions. Give it up for everybody who's on here. Thank you for coming on, everybody. Have a great night. Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks, Duante.